welcome back to Piper vs YouTube channel where curiosity meets the code. Today the program that we are going to solve is a type of game which is a battleship game. So let's go through the code. So firstly, as you can see, we have import OS from random import randit. This imports OS for clearing the terminal screen and randit for generating random numbers. Then we have board is equal to an empty set, and then we have size we have given as 5. This initialize an empty list board to represent the game board sets the default board size to 5. The next we have the function which is a new game, and then we have global size os.system cls if os.name is equal to empty. So here global size, this declares a size as a global variable allowing it to modify inside function. Then we have os.system class if os.name is equal to empty else clear. This clears the terminal screen, uses cls for window and clear for Unix like system. Then we have answer is equal to input. Do you want to start a new game of battleship dot lower? So here this prompts the user to start a new game and converts their input lowercase for easier consumption. Then we have an if loop. So we have if answer is not in yes, y, no or n, new game. So if the user responses is not recognized, it recursively calls new game to prompt again. So then we have else. This begins the block of code that executes if the user response is recognized. So in the if state else statement, we have another if loop. So you can see firstly if answer is equal to yes or answer is equal to y, checks if the user's response indicates a desire to start a new game. Then we have while true, which is starts an infinite loop to repeatedly prompt the user for valid input. Then we have try. This begins a try block to catch any errors of the following code. Then we have os.system class if os.name is equal to empty else clear. This clears the terminal screen again before asking for input, ensuring a clean display. Then we have size init. Hold on, let me just display the entire thing so you guys can. So basically you have size init input, enter a number between 5 and 15. Then in the next one we have will determine how big the playing board is and how many turns you have to find out in the battleship, which is 5 rows, 5 columns, 5 turns, etc. And then we end up with this loop. So this prompts the user to enter a board size between 5 and 15 and converts the input to a integer. So next if loop we are having if size is not in range 5 comma 16, raise value error. This checks if the entered size is within the value range, which is 5 to 15, raises a value error. If not, then we have except value error print you did not enter a number. So basically catches an value error that occurs in the if the input is not number or is out of range, prints an error message and continuous prompting. Then we have else break. This breaks out of the loop if a valid board size is entered. Then we have a for loop, which is for x range in 0 comma size, board append 0 size into size. This creates a game board with size, row and column, filling it with 0 to represent empty cells. Then we have game, which calls the game function to start the gameplay after setting up the board. Else if the answer is equal to no. What if the answer is I don't want to play the game? So this checks, first of all it checks. Then we have os.system class if os name is equal to empty else clear. This clears the terminal screen before exiting the game. Then we have print thank you for playing. This is the end of the game. Then input press enter key to exit the game. So again, this will display the name. We have os.system class for os name is equal to init else clear quit. So then we have This creates a terminal screen one finally time before existing, then this exits the program. Next we have another function of print board. So here def print board, in which board is there, this defines a print board function to display the game board. And then we have for row in board, it iterates over each row in the board list. We have print an empty space dot join row. This prints each row of the board as a space separating string. Then we have the next function, a function called random row board return randed 0 length board minus 1. Defines the random row function to return a random row index within the board's range. Then we have def random column board. This returns a randed 0 length board 0 minus 1. This defines a random column function to return a random column index within the board game. So the next function will be df game. So here it defines the game function to handle the main gameplay logic. Then we have global board, which is os.system class if os dot name is equal to nt else clear. This declares board as a global variant and clears the terminal screen. Then we have print welcome to the battleship. So here this prints the game instruction showing the grid size and the number of turns allowed. Then we have ship row is equal to random row board and ship column is equal to random column board. So this randomly places the ship by generating random row column indices. Then we have print board. So this prints the game board to the screens, and we have for turn the range in size. So this is print turn comma turn plus 1 comma off size etc. This starts the loop for each turn from 1 to the total number of turns allowed. Then we have a while loop. This starts an infinite loop to ensure a valid user input. Then we have a try and except loop. So we have try guess row init input guess row minus 1. Then if guess row not in range 0 comma size, then we have export value error. So this prompts the user to guess a row, adjust the index to be 0 based and checks if within the valid range. Then we have accept value error, print a valid selection and continue. This catches a value error for invalid row input and prompts the user to try again. Then we have else breaks out of the loop if the valid row input is entered. Then we have a while loop where while true try guess column is equal to init input guess column minus 1. Then we have if guess column not in range 0 comma size raise value error. This prompts the user to guess a column, adjust the index to be 0 based on and checks if it's within the valid range. Then we have accept value error, print a valid selection, else break. So here it catches the value error for input column and prompts the user to try again. Then we have else break. So this breaks out of the loop if valid column input is entered. Then we have if guess row is equal to ship row and guess column is equal to ship column. os.system, which is cls if os.name is equal to not else clear. This inputs congratulations, you sank my battleship, please enter to continue, press enter to continue. And then we have board new game break. So this checks if the guest coordinates match the ship location, clears the screen and announces victory, resets the board and starts a new game and exits the loop. Else we have if guess row is greater than the size of the guess row is less than 0, or guess column is greater than size or guess column is less than 0. Print oops, that's not even the in the ocean. So basically checks if the guess is out of the bound and prints the message if it is. Then we have else if. So here we have board guess row guess column is equal to x. Then we have os dot system cls if os dot name is equal to nt else clear. Then we have print you guessed that one already good job you wasted a turn. So print board. This checks if the guessed cell has already been guessed clears. The screen prints a message and shows the updated board. Then we have else if os.system cls if os.name is equal to not else clear. Print miss. Then we have board guess row guess column is equal to x. This prints the board is print board comma board. This handles a miss by cleaning the screen, marking the guessed cell with X and showing the updated board. Then we have the next else loop, which is os.system class if os.name. Sorry, the next else loop, which is input game over and press enter to continue. And we have board as given as a null. Then we have new game. So if the player uses up all the turns without finding the shift prints game over, waits for the user to press enter, resets the board and starts a new game. And finally it's just new game. So this calls the new game function to start the initial game setup. So let's quickly see the output of the program. So as usual, going to the command prompt and python main.py. So you can see, okay, let me just increase it. So it starts with, do you want to start a new game of Battleship? So I'm going to start with yes. Then it's asking me this will determine how big the playing board is and how many terms. So I'll just go with 2 turns with 2 columns and rows. Okay, the minimum should be 3. Okay, fine. So then we have a shift of the cell. We have 5 turns to find it. So let's go with 1 row. So the column that I'm going with 2. So again it's showing miss. Then we'll try another guess. 1, 2, 3 and 3, 3. Again it's a miss. Then we'll go with 4, we have 5. We'll go with 4, 4. Again it's a miss. Then we have, this is our last chance. I'll go with 2, 3. And this is our last chance. Guess the row. 1 and 1. So game over, I lost. So you can try different combination. The minimum should be 5. And we can play this battleship game.